What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Tyler behind the wheel. Sorry I ain't posted in a while. Been thinking about a lot of things. I want to talk to y'all about looking for a trucking company. You know, those of you who are wanting to get into the trucking industry, or those of you who are already in the trucking industry, you know, there are a lot of things to look at. To start off with, those of you who are looking to get into the trucking industry, I don't care what trucking company you're thinking about getting on with, they're all going to lie to you. I don't care who it is. A recruiter's job, number one and foremost, is to bring you on. They'll tell you anything under the sun to make it sound like a great place. Now, with that being said, there are some companies that are more honest about the way that they operate and the benefits they offer than others. But if you're wanting to get into trucking, you don't have a CDL, any of that other stuff, mainly, most of the time, you got to go to trucking school. And the thing about trucking school is, you know, it can take a little while. I think mine was like 4 weeks. I went to Future Truckers of America in Asheboro, North Carolina. Shout out to those guys. Awesome group of guys. I went there not under a contract from any company. I will say this though. I'm at USA Truck. A couple of years before I ended up actually getting my CDL and going to school, I went and talked to a recruiter at USA Truck. And you know, the recruiter's like, yeah, you'll sign a year contract. Basically states that, you know, you'll work for us for a year. That's how they get their money back from sending you to truck driving school. So, fine. What if that company is, you know, really, really crappy? And then you're stuck there. You can leave, but you're going to break that contract. There's usually a payout. Now, some companies will pay out your contract in order to bring you on if you have not made that 1 year contract agreement. So, like USA Truck, Prime Incorporated, Snyder, Swift, you know, if it's a big company, you'll sign a year contract, you'll go work for them. Sometimes it can be beneficial, most of the time it's not. Here's how I got around that. Well, before I get to that. So I talked to USA Truck Recruiter years ago. Probably like, I've been doing this for like 5 years. 6 to 7 years ago. Well, I signed a year contract at USA Truck like 7 years ago. And they put me in school at Future Truckers of America in Asheboro, North Carolina. 30 minutes from home. Not bad. Day one. Get in there. We're doing our introductions and all that crap. Lunch break comes around. So, I go up, give me something to eat. Future Truckers of America is off of North Carolina Route 64. I think. Pretty here at 64. So it's a very dangerous stretch of roadway because there's a lot of traffic. It's like a main road. So I go get my food. As I'm waiting to pull out of the driveway, it's 2 lanes. 2 lanes going that way, 2 lanes going this way. And then there's a middle turn lane. Traffic going that way freed up. So I went and jumped in the middle turn lane. I crossed 2 lanes of traffic, and all but my driver's side rear tire was in that turn lane. Some woman came up and sideswiped me. I was in a 93 Dodge Dakota. No harm was so done to it. Love that truck. Tore her car all to hell. I got ticketed for not yielding to her. Which, how do you cross 2 lanes of traffic and you're almost in a 3rd lane, and then all of a sudden she come out of nowhere? I don't understand that. She wasn't there when I was pulling out. But this is why old people need to go through more rigorous driving training or whatever. Make sure they're capable of driving. Anyway, I go back to the school, and I told him what happened. And then I told him, look, if y'all just want to forget that, I even came here, when I talked to USA, look, y'all just want to forget about this, act like it never happened. That way I ain't got to pay y'all a bunch of money. USA and Future Truckers of America came to a deal. They just forgot it even happened. So I got off on that. So I got to do a bunch of other jobs and whatnot. And I still wanted to be a truck driver. At the time, I was working for Trailer Repair Pro or something, I don't know. It's a trailer repair company. And I was working at a FedEx ground facility on the property. The job sucked, I ain't even gonna lie. The owner of the company was an idiot. Well, I wouldn't say an idiot, but he was only focused on this. Coming up to a parking lot. Lovely. Anyway, I get to talking to a driver over there. So let me get you in touch with my contractor. So I talked to his contractor, and he does a little digging. And he's telling me that there's a way to get my CDL. The state of North Carolina pays for it. It's called NC Works. NC Works. North Carolina Works. ncworks.org, gov, com, whatever. Anyway, it's a North Carolina government thing. Basically like work education or whatever. Learn a new skill, whatever you want to call it. I did that. So they paid for my whole, truck driving school program. And I've been doing it ever since. I would seriously consider doing that other than signing a year contract. If your state has anything like that, a work re-education, whatever, look for it. Go get your CDL and then go on to a company that takes new drivers. Typically find somebody small. Don't go to some big company. You're going to lose your ass. I was lucky enough to get on with FedEx Ground straight out of truck driving school, working for the guy who gave me the information. I know a lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about FedEx drivers. Yeah, some of them are crazy, whatever, but it was a damn good place to work for. you're not necessarily a FedEx employee. You are an employee of the contractor who has a contract with FedEx, or at least FedEx Ground. You want to be a FedEx employee? Go drive for FedEx. What's it called? Express, FedEx Express, or something. Basically, it's hauling like LTL freight. So, beer's feeling a little dingy today. Anyway, right out the bat, I made really good money. It was, I don't even remember how much it was, but it was a split. So, for example, 60 miles, 60 cents per mile split. You're making 30 cents for the entire leg. Now, it might sound, stupid. Some of y'all might say, well, how do you make any money? Let me tell you something. I came pretty damn close to making $2,000 a week net. That's what I took home. I have a love-hate relationship with FedEx because FedEx likes to overstep that contractual bound and act like you work for them, and you don't. But you can make a lot of money at FedEx. If you can get around driving with a co-driver, driving team, it's not bad. It's really not. Every contractor I drove for had newer trucks. You are supposed to be governed at 65, but you can make a lot of money. You can go from north to south, east to west. You don't necessarily cross any territorial lines such as Mexico or California. But I've never met a bad contractor yet. But like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with FedEx Ground itself. But contractors are awesome. Made a lot of money over there. But do something like that. Now, if you're already a truck driver and you've got, more than a year under your belt, you can pretty much go work for anybody you want to. Some companies will require, 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience. It's whatever. But do your research. I cannot stress that enough. Do your research. You have a world full of knowledge in your hand with your cell phone. YouTube. A lot of truckers do YouTube. I'm doing YouTube. You can gain a lot of experience or knowledge from other truck drivers and where they work just by watching their YouTube channel. Now, use discernment. Everything that even what I say about my experience here at USA Truck, it's my experience. It might not be your experience. There's a guy that I was in orientation class with at USA, Hunter. Hunter's had a really good experience over here. I mean, he ain't had his truck broke down. He ain't dealt with half the crap that I have. He's got a decently running truck. There's a few things that he's got to get fixed on his truck, but he hasn't had the problems that I've had. So, your experience is not going to be my experience. Whoever you're watching, whatever they say is not going to be your experience. Everything that a person goes through is their experience. So use discernment, use common sense, all that stuff. Be smart. You got Google, you got Glassdoor.com, you got Trucker Report, all this stuff. Look at everything you can. Take notes. You can put down comments in the comment section and talk to these YouTubers. Look at every video you can. Try and find every review you can. Take down notes. Go and call a recruiter knowledgeable. Don't go to a recruiter wanting knowledge. Go to a recruiter and ask them questions. Ask them hard questions. If they don't know the answer, hound them. Will you get me the answer and get back with me? And then stay on top with them. You got to do your research. Don't just go to any company that's going to promise you the moon. No trucking company is going to do that. Now, it's no secret I have not had a good experience over here at USA Truck. Mainly because the truck that I did have kept breaking down. I kept getting crappy trailers. I couldn't make my loads, or I had to get reassigned loads, or I had to get my loads reassigned because something was broken and it took me off the road to get fixed. If you put up with that for so long, you're not going to make money. You're going to be hemorrhaging money. You might even take out loans just to try and stay afloat. Don't ever put yourself in that position. I'm not in that position. I'm going to leave USA before I get to that position. Now this week, my last video, I went home. I spent a couple of days at home. Now, I thought about a lot of things. Take your experience and ask yourself, what's the chances of it getting better? Can I go somewhere else and get a better experience? The answer to both of those questions could be yes. But with what I'm seeing here at USA, they seem to be more about this than about this. I make them money. In exchange for that, I get money for the time that I put in. So, I want to make sure that I'm taken care of on the road. Now, this is 2021. This is a new age. I'm a new generation. A lot of the old-time truckers didn't have the things that we have in these trucks. We don't live in a world where we don't have to live like that. We don't have to work like that. We can work more comfortably with these new age trucks. Refrigerators, comfortable mattresses, more room in the sleeper, more room in the cab. We got all these retarded sensors that always go out. Everything is supposed to make our lives better. Well, if you know anything about the trucking industry, all of it's made, at least the sensors and safety stuff, has made life more of a headache. Lane departures, the adaptive cruise control, they're nice, but they have their problems. If you're in trucking, you already know. But I have my quarrels with them, but it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes they're just more of an annoyance, but they're there for a purpose. But y'all seen the little pre-K kitty mattresses that they give us in my previous videos. I've never been with a trucking company that gives company drivers pre-K mats for a sleeper mattress. Heaven forbid if you're a bigger guy than me, cause that's not going to do anything for you. I was lucky enough that Hunter brought his own mattress, so I took his other one and doubled up. It became better. It still wasn't ideal, but it was better than what it was. So when I got this new truck, I didn't even think about getting my old mattress out of it and doubling it up, or even tripling it up in here. I wish I would have, because I had a $100 piece of foam mattress that was, about this thick. No, it was about that thick. Whatever. I had to cut it up to fit in here, just to double up in here, so that I could sleep comfortably. So that was $100 down the drain right there. I didn't really want to do that, but I didn't have much of a choice. They're not going to give me another one just because I want one. But USA Truck, as a company, does not care about how you sleep. Those little cheap kitty pre-K mattresses, you're going to be forced to go out and buy a better mattress. You as a company driver using company equipment should not have to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on a mattress in a company truck unless they give you a good mattress and it's not what you want. But a pre-K mat is ridiculous. USA Truck does not care about your sleep. Now, I have never been with a trucking company that did not, in some way or another, idle their truck or have an auxiliary power unit. Both of those allow the sleeper controls to work with the climate control. So, my old truck idled all the time. And I was told that the company did that during COVID so that the mechanics didn't have to get in the truck. They just made it idle and sent the truck on their way. So they're doing away with that, like I've said in previous videos. They're doing away with that and making it so that these trucks do not idle. So if you're too hot, you don't get air. Which I sleep hot. Last night it was at freezing temperatures in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where I pulled off to stop at. I went to bed with the truck idling. Now they turned the idle off in this truck, but I figured out how to make it idle. I don't care if USA is watching this video. I'm gonna get good sleep, because if I don't, I'm unsafe to drive. And if something happens to me or somebody else on the road, it's your fault. It's not mine, because you prevented me from getting good sleep. I don't care at this point. I'm not happy here. I've told my dispatcher I'm not happy. Obviously, there's nothing he can do about it. It's company policy. So I found a way to make the truck idle. You know, last night it was like 32, 33 degrees outside, and for some reason the truck was running at 200 degrees on the water temp. It was running high. I don't know why. I wasn't leaking coolant. I don't know what its real reason for doing that was. I switched the fan on. It cooled it back down, and then it went back up again. So I don't know what that was all about. I guess it was because it was so cold it needed to run hotter to counteract the cold temperature. I don't know. So I'm a truck driver. I'm not a mechanic. With all that, something was going on with the fan inside of the dash. It stopped blowing out. Something in there was moving, but no air was. So I just turned the truck off. I was like, you know what? Screw it. Turn the truck off. It's cold as crap outside. I'm going to go open up these sidewall vents and let the cold air creep in. And hopefully, that'll keep me, comfortable enough to sleep. When I sleep, I'm hot. I turn into a freaking furnace when I fall asleep. Always been that way. That's why I like to sleep in really cold temperatures, or at least have, air blowing on my face to keep me cool. Well, because we can't idle the truck, we don't have any power units or power generators on the truck to run while the truck is not idling. We don't get anything. All we get is a bunk heater. If you get too cold, turn the bunk heater on. Some of y'all are used to running bunk heaters. I never have. Never had a reason to, because everything was working the way it should. I've tried using it twice. Every time I use it, I wake up several hours later sweating my balls off. I'm not doing that. not spending multiple nights trying to figure out what a good temperature is to sleep on when I need sleep today. And you can comment on this and say, quit your bitching, whatever. I like my sleep. I've earned it. I'm going to get good sleep. So, if you're too cold, turn the bunk heater on. If you're fine with that, whatever, do it. That's on you. This is me. If you're too hot, too damn bad, you don't get no AC when the truck ain't running. You don't get no fan blowing on you. You can open up the vents and hopefully some hot air will go out, but it ain't. It's absolutely ridiculous. No driver comfort amenities at USA whatsoever. No fridge. You're going to sit in orientation for like 2 or 3 days, and you're going to watch a bunch of orientation videos. Some of them are about, exercising, staying fit. Some of them are going to be about eating right on the road. Don't go to these truck stops and eat all this truck stop food. It's bad for you. That's why people become truck drivers and end up weighing 400 pounds. Don't eat truck driver food. You can do it every once in a while in a pinch, but don't do it. USA makes you watch these videos and then they stick you in a truck with no fridge. That only leaves you with a microwave and canned goods. What's the deal with canned goods? Preservatives. Crap food. Unhealthy food. I like to bring fresh food out with me in the truck and cook in the truck. I like to make a fresh meal. You're not going to do that at USA unless you bring your own, refrigerator and maybe take out the passenger seat if they let you do that as a company driver. Or unless you got a plug-in fridge that might cost $500. It's not right. We live in a new world age where truck drivers are becoming so unhealthy. And USA is all about the greenbacks. They're going to get you the cheapest truck they can out of Kenworth. It's got nothing in it for you except a microwave rack and a bed. That's it. I don't know why they're not putting refrigerators in their trucks, but it's not right and it's not fair. USA Truck does not care. I'm not happy here whatsoever. Do your research. Talk to as many people as you can and hound of the recruiter. Get your answers. Make the best choice for you that you can. Prime Incorporated and USA Truck, I'd stay away from them. Prime is too big to fail at this point. Swift at one point was too big to fail. But Swift hired on anybody and everybody, and they ended up, with so many points on their company, they had to sell it out. I can't remember who owns Swift now, but it's whatever. Now, unless USA gets their act together, I would seriously say, don't come here. As a lease operator, you can do whatever you want to your truck. There's quite a lot of people that are at here, at USA and leasing, and from what I'm understanding, it's a good place to lease on to. But it's your truck, your amenities that you want. But But USA don't care about you as a company driver. I sat on the road for 9 hours in 33-degree temperatures. The truck that I had did not have an S-bar heater in it. I posted it. And instead of trying to get another truck company out, they just waited and waited and waited. Now, I was pissed off about waiting 9 hours in freezing cold temperatures. But it's really nobody's fault. I'm trying to be as fair as I can, not having a strong bias, because USA can only get who's available wherever they're at. And according to the guy that came out, he said all the towing companies are out of Atlanta. If you've ever been through Atlanta, you know why. Atlanta is a crappy place to go through. It sucks. Hate driving through Atlanta. Everybody in Atlanta got their driver's license out of a damn Cracker Jack box. Hate driving through Atlanta. Now, again, these are my experiences at USA Truck. I specifically came here to do a lease purchase. Got screwed out of my lease by Freightliner. Not SFI, but Freightliner. Well, probably not even Freightliner. You know, it's probably because of damn China not having any microchips. I don't know what's going on. But Freightliner scaled back. It was going to take a year or two before I even got a truck. So, I don't know. I could wait for ProLease, and everybody that I've talked to said Charlie is a great guy to work with. Charlie will take care of you, and I believe that because Charlie seems to be really sincere. But the problem with that is that it's an old USA truck. Now, you get 30-day warranty when you get an old USA truck from ProLease. Meaning, when you go to Charlie and the truck's available, you go check that truck out. If there's anything wrong with it, they'll have it fixed. Now, when you get in that truck, you've signed that contract. You have 30 days. If anything else happens with that truck, they will fix it for free. After that 30 days, it's all on you. That's better than a lot of other companies. But, given the maintenance on these company trucks, they seem to be very, very crappy. So when you get your ProLease decommissioned USA company truck, you're really going to be at the mercy of whoever had the truck before you, the company driver. If they dog the shit out of that truck, it's now your problem. Now, when it comes to leasing used trucks, that's always your problem. If you can get maintenance records, get them. So I would highly steer clear of any company that does not have a used lease truck available without maintenance records. ProLease has maintenance records. If you buy a truck from Ryder or Penske or whatever, they do all their own maintenance. They have maintenance records. There is a company, I think in Iowa, called RT&T Enterprises. They do lease purchases. I would stay clear of that company. I talked to them. They do have successful leases, but the problem is those trucks, they're cheap. They're cheap because they're old and they've got up to 800,000 miles on them. At 800,000 miles, it's time to start looking at an end frame. Do not go. My bad, guys. My bad. Got a phone call from the wife. She takes precedent. So, like I was saying, RT&T Express, do not go there to do a lease purchase. You're going to get an old truck with high mileages that are going to need end frames pretty soon. You're going to have a high maintenance escrow account because they're old trucks and will break down. Don't do it. It's not worth it. So, do your due diligence. Look at these companies. Make an educated decision. Look at people on YouTube and, look at reviews. And when you do this, use discernment. Use common sense. Just because they're having a bad time doesn't mean you're going to have a bad time. There are a lot of people that stay with truck companies and retire from them. Every truck company is going to have something bad to go along with it. Some people deal with it, some people don't. Some people change their ways to fit more around the company, others don't. There are some people out there that want everything done the way they want it done, and they're not going to make it anywhere in life. Sometimes you do have to change. For me, USA is not working because they're not giving the proper amenities to truck drivers to make life easier. Being a decent mattress, a fridge. One thing that I would want the company to work around with me is having a way to have air and heat other than just a bunk heater. But that's something for me that I'm not willing to change around the company with. I want a company that's going to have my best interests and making sure that I have, a good night's sleep. USA don't care. But they'll preach to you about safety. There's been times where I've gotten a little too close to a car that these cameras won't, and they go off, and safety will send me a message we got that says, we got a video of you, being a little bit too close to a car, let's make sure we keep our distances and whatnot. So what? Every time that thing goes off, it's while I'm waiting on a car to get in front of me so that I can change lanes from the vehicle that's in front of me. I'm not going to slow down and back up traffic when all I got to do is wait another 1 or 2 seconds, because every time it's gone off, it's while I've been changing lanes. I'm not going to stop doing that. I'm going to keep my momentum up a hill to 1, not back up traffic, to 2, get up the hill as quick as possible, and 3, to get around the vehicle as quickly as I can safely. I'm not going to lose my momentum going up a hill. It's stupid. These cameras don't show everything in context. So, a lot of companies have these cameras. That's just something you got to deal with. But seriously, guys, do your research. There's a lot of good companies out there. I've got applications in with one that I think would really be a good company to go on to, and they just started a lease purchase program. I'm not going to give that out yet until a decision is made, but they're not the easiest company to get on with, so I'm crossing my fingers that, hopefully I can get on with them. There's another company I'm waiting to hear back from. They are a sole owner-operator company. They have no company drivers. So you either go on there and do a lease purchase, or you have already got a truck and you just lease it onto the company. They've been doing that since, the fucking and 40s. So we'll just see what happens. You know, in total, I've got 3 applications out right now. I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to go somewhere else. But I don't care if USA is looking at this video and does whatever they want to with me. You know, at this point, I don't care. They don't care about me. I don't care about them. Being an employee with a company is a give and take. So they didn't give enough to me in order for me to be happy with what I'm taking. So this is why my resume looks like crap, because I've never stayed with a company more than 11 months. I'm a natural born rebel. I don't take crap from nobody. I'm not going to stay somewhere that I'm not happy. I don't care how that makes me look, but this is about me. And it's about you too. When you get on with a company, it's not about the company. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and forcing you to stay there. If you're not happy somewhere, they are just as replaceable as you are to them. And don't think for a second that if you weren't working for them, they would let you go. They would replace you in a heartbeat. A company's number one goal is to maintain profitability. If you're not maintaining a good enough status in the company to maintain their profit margin, they're going to get rid of you. And they're not going to give you a 2-week notice. I hardly ever work a 2-week notice. Mainly because they don't give me one to go find something else to do. Make sure that in my transition I have somewhere to go. They don't care. It's not their responsibility. I bear no responsibility for them either. If I let them go, you had all the chances in the world to fix what was wrong on my end. You didn't do it. Why am I going to wait 2 more weeks so you can find a driver? You're a multi-million-dollar company. Me being out of this truck's not going to hurt you, especially with the amount of trucks I've seen sitting at the terminals. One more ain't going to hurt you. You know, that goes for everybody else that I've worked for. Now, the FedEx contractors that I've worked for, I've worked my 2 weeks for them because they've been good to me. I have nothing bad to say about any FedEx contractor I've ever worked for. So it's just driving team can suck sometimes. There's a lot of good money in it, but unless you can really get along with the person that you're driving with, it can be hell. You are spending more time with that person than you are with your own family. So you just made the best decision that there is for you to make. Find out everything you can. Google can be your best friend. Find out how much money the company makes every quarter. You know, all this stuff. Make sure you know everything. Don't go to a recruiter wanting knowledge. Go to a recruiter and beat the crap out of them with everything you know. The only stupid question that you can ask is one that you don't ask. There is no such thing as a stupid question. Ask your questions. Get it in writing. Get it in writing, in case you didn't hear. That's all I can tell you guys. You know, I'm still learning. This is still a learning experience for me, but I've been with some crappy companies. I've been with some good companies. But I'm trying to find something that fits for me. You need to find something that fits for you. You can come. I'm not saying don't come over to USA. Even though I did just say I don't recommend coming over here, that doesn't mean don't try and come over here. If you find something here that works for you, then great. I wish you the best of luck. It's not working for me, so I'm leaving. That's just that. You know, that happens. But you got to do what's best for you. Do what's best for your family. You know, that's all I can tell you. Just make sure you're asking questions, gaining as much knowledge as possible. Don't just go somewhere and try and figure it out. You know, I know everything that I know because I've done that. Don't do that. Don't make your resume look like you're not a loyal worker. You know, I will bust my tail for any company that will bust it right back for me. And I've done that. Companies that have taken care of me, I've taken great care of them. You know, I've talked with owners of companies. You know, I've become friends with owners of companies because they took care of me and I was willing to do what I could to do what's best for them. But a company that does what USA's doing, they don't care. What's the point in trying with a company that's not going to try for you? Now, I know that there's company guys over here at USA that have been here for a while and they're happy. More power to them. I'm glad it's working for you. It's not working for me. There are standards while being in a truck that I won't meet, and USA's not willing to meet them. That's for me. It's not saying that ain't for you. But just do what you can, guys. I'm on my way back to the house after I get this load delivered. We're going to Chewy and Salisbury again. So once I get this done, I'm going back to the house. I'm going to enjoy Thanksgiving with my family. I wish y'all a great Thanksgiving feast and holiday with your families. Remember, Thanksgiving first started in 1607 in Virginia. It did not start up north. I don't care what anybody tells you. Google's your best friend. Look it up. Thanksgiving's another good old Southern holiday. So, thank the South. Anyway, y'all have a good holiday. Enjoy spending time with your families. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification. If you find, you know, what I'm doing is entertaining to you, you know, whatever. Stay tuned, stick around, see what happens to me next. If USA fires me because they saw this video, or if a company comes back and gives me the green light. Y'all stay tuned to see what happens next. Y'all stay safe out there. I wish you the best of luck. Y'all take care, and we'll see you on the next one.